Greetings, I hope we're rolling. It's 11:33 a.m. West Coast time. And I am Oliver here from the People's Republic of Portland, Oregon, where Marxism is lurking at every corner. Beware, be prepared. Right here, Ernest Hemingway, Death. Death in the afternoon. I'm not going to read a passage, but I am going to show a couple of pictures. Here's another one here. The Great Bullfight. I'm thinking about doing a bullfight, matador type of painting. So I have no idea if there's any market for that, but I don't really care at this point. I need to do a couple of pieces that are on my mind. But Ernest Hemingway, Death in the Afternoon, is very symbolic of the battle of this country right now. It's symbolic in a number of ways. I could actually do a metaphor with Trump himself. I could also do it as a part of democracy, the democratic process, if you will, rather, of our election, our voting elections. So I just want to chime in on a couple of thoughts, random thoughts that I'm having here about the election results, November 3rd, 2020 general election results. As I've stated before, I openly admit that I view the Trumpster, the Don, as the lesser evil of the neoliberal, same crooked crony cabal of Obama, Secretary Clinton, and Biden. These are international war criminals. Trump is the lesser evil because I think he's made a genuine effort in 2019 and 2020 for peace deals and for withdrawing troops. And both the Democrats and Republicans viciously backlashed and attacked Trump 2 years ago in trying to get those troops out of the Middle East, trying to eliminate the blood in the sands, if you will. But some of my thoughts, I support all of the efforts that are happening right now, not because I'm a diehard Trump enthusiast, not because I am some crazed MAGA supporter spitting at the mouth, grab your guns, although that's not a bad idea. And I am a Second Amendment fan, so that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that this is really, really important of our last gasp of election integrity, voting integrity. Elections are at a turning point, and they have been for years, to be honest, but this one's big. And what I like about Donald J. Trump is that he's a fighter, rather than Bernie, who's, kind of a douche, kind of a pussy wimp, if you will, pardon my English. I hate that, and America hates that. America hates weenies, wimps, and that's a huge part of the popularity of DJ T, the Don, I like to call him, but is because he's a fighter, and he's fighting, and this is really important that we examine a number of things. Number one, I like Sidney Powell. She was General Flynn's attorney and made notoriety there, but now she's making the circuit on election fraud, election abnormalities, election integrity. And, she's going to catch hell from a lot of people. She's going to make some statements that's going to ruffle some feathers. Good. Tucker Carlson's all got his panties in a bunch because she won't come on his show. Well, Sidney Powell, go on Tucker's show. He's opened the door. He wants a bunch of hard evidence, and people have to understand that during litigation, these legal matters, you've got to keep your hand close, your cards close. But at the same time, like the press release yesterday, I don't know how many of you saw the press release. I've read a lot of comments on social media, just ranting and raving and shredding the press release that Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell and Ellis, Jenna Ellis, who I really admired Counsel Ellis thrashing on the mainstream media. I love that. I love that. I mean, this crooked press corps, which is really just a mouthpiece for CIA, FBI, deep state, whatever you want to call all these people, that are associated with the Biden team. It's the same people. In fact, many of them were the same people when 9/11 went down. These are the same type of continuity of government, which Biden is a member of the COG, continuity of government, on 9/11. So, I mean, this guy goes way back, and he's very cool and supported with intelligence community black hats. Not what you would call a white hat trying to fight for justice, which some people argue that's what Snowden and these other type of whistleblowers. But so I support the efforts of what they're doing. I supported the press release. I think it was good. There's a lot of criticism saying that it didn't help. In fact, it hurt. Having Mayor Rudy's hair dye coming down his face and his eyes getting big with pictures, that didn't help. You know what? I don't care. I don't think America cares. You know, he's using, I guess, the spray hair dye. I don't know, whatever. I'm not even sure how hair dye even comes down when you're sweating, but man, he was sweating. I think he might have had the martini sweats. I don't think he had the COVID sweats, but what do I know? I think Rudy's statements were good. I think Counsel Ellis, Jenna Ellis, was even stronger, and I'm waiting eagerly to see the Kraken release. Release the Kraken. Or is it Kraken? Isn't that a rum? I'm not sure. I have had evenings where we cracked a bottle of rum, and things did get a little crazy. So if that's what she means, that we're cracking like pirate booty rum, release the Kraken. I keep hearing that. Well, bring it on. I hope they got it. But meantime, I think it's also important to analyze the long game here. Long game meaning within the next couple of weeks, right? You've got till, December 14th? That's when things are going to start popping. Deadlines for electoral votes, electoral college, things like this are going to start popping. But there is a game there that I could see being played out. What little I know, just intuition in large part, some things I'm reading too, but it's not like I've got an inside line on anybody. It's more of delay and slow play and let this unravel in front of America. And there is great value in that. It's the same type of great value as I see as someone like Donald J. Trump, like a wrecking ball to deep state, a wrecking ball to the Democrat establishment. I support that. I'm very bitter towards the Democratic Party establishment. I think they're bottom scum. This is the worst of the worst of politics, worse than the Republicans. And there is some real bottom feeder Republicans too, don't get me wrong. But that's a wrecking ball. That's what Trump's focus has been on, a wrecking ball. And that's what we need to do. We need to expose, smash open Dominion voting systems, smash open Akamai, AKAMAI, and these technologies. I mean, some of these, they're shifting their names, but these are people that are able to, software that's able to monitor what's happening, interfering in between. Like Akamai, for example, was involved with Facebook and the NSA monitoring and intercepting uploads of pictures and albums and data. So they may willingly or unwillingly have been an accomplice in the NSA's data gathering. That came out from Snowden, some of his leaks that he told Glenn Greenwald back in 2014. I've got articles on that. I'll post that for you to take a look at it. There's not a huge amount to it. It's more of a refresher of the article that, yeah, this was going on and we forgot. I mean, this was several years ago. There's also Democrats that were issuing red flag alerts for Dominion voting software, the lack of outdated electronic voting tabulation software using Windows 7 here in Oregon. We've never upgraded. I mean, we're so vulnerable to just about anything here. Now, if we mattered, which we don't with the Electoral College, with the presidential elections, we're just controlled and dominated by neoliberal Democrats, you know, and apparently for some bizarre reason, even the radicals kiss the boots of the shiny, shiny Democrat leather here in Portland and here in Oregon. It's just downright bizarre. But some of them just may not be deep thinkers, low information, shallow thinkers that don't realize that they're being used like tools to the establishment of the Democrat Party, to all of our demise. So the reason I mention that locally in Oregon is because we're using software for the computer electronic tabulation, vote tabulation, that is outdated by 15 years. We're using Microsoft 7 or older. This is the type of problems that we have all over the country. This is the type of problems that everyone knew, even the Democrats were signing on to and saying, hey, we're in for real trouble. Ron Wyden, just 2 months ago, Ron the Weenie Wyden, I'm not a big fan of the Zionist guy. He tried to make protesting against Israel genocide illegal. He's a Zionist. But the point is that even this guy sitting on the intelligence community said, hey, by the way, we're headed for a train wreck here. Now, he may not have known, or maybe he did, he may not have known which group of the intelligence community was going to pull the shenanigans. He might have thought that it could have been Trump's people or some inside faction that's maybe that Trump was able to tap and overturn some sort of faction that could be a part of it. Or it might have just been covering his base if something did pop up, which it has. So these things need to be investigated. And in closing, one of the most important things about what's going on, whether Trump can successfully argue in court, I think he has a long shot, but he has a chance. The Trump team does have a chance. And if it goes down to the Supreme Court in any fashion, which it looks like it's lining up for in mid-December, there's a good chance that the Trump team could turn this around. I actually hope they do. And the reason that I do is that type of exposure will do more than anything in our history to analyze these voting election systems that we have that are flawed and that are easily manipulated. Why are our votes in this country using machines that are built outside the country and tabulated on servers that are outside of the country? That is direct violation of foreign interference in our elections. Let that sink in. That's really important, because that's exactly what Trump issued an executive order. And if that's what's happened, it only boldens the Trump campaigns and their allegations. But what I wanted to say in closing is that we have key votes coming up in Georgia for the Senate that is monumental in controlling not only Congress and the Senate, but the future of our country. And what we've seen with this data from this last 2 weeks election playing out is that it only takes a little bit of manipulation in a couple of key counties, or even one key county, to change the entire outcome of the state and the votes thereof reflecting that state. So in these swing states, that's exactly what we've seen happen in the past, and we saw happen 2 weeks ago, November 3rd. And one of the key things, people are like, oh, there's no evidence, oh, there's no evidence. The evidence was right there on CNN and other media covering it. All of a sudden, you had so many millions of votes, and the votes on Trump went down. The next batch, seconds later, the Trumps for vote went down, reversed, and Biden's went up, right there on the tally, right there on national TV. There's multiple shots of that, video coverage of that. That's evidence of the vote flipping. That's how that program works, is it takes the votes of one candidate and will flip it, can flip it, will flip it. And if you have a third party like Akamai, Akamai, and others, Dominion voting systems, there could be other type of software that other remote people can watch that tally in real time and manipulate it as they see fit, as they choose. Completely flushing down 75 million votes for Trump and X amount of votes for Biden. Millions and millions of people in this country. So that's what's at stake. Georgia is at stake. The country is at stake. The Senate is at stake. That's a special election in January 5th. So regardless of who pulls it off, we have to change how we do things with our elections here in this country. If anything comes about it. Now, the Democrats are going to want to just brush us under the carpet because they think they won. They've declared they've won. There isn't a clear winner. So the way that the news media that's controlled by Mockingbird Media is controlled by Deep State and these intelligence communities, the way that they're operating is clear evidence to me. They're trying to cover this up. They're trying to just move it along. They're trying to just go, but nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. That's right. So what does Woodsy the Owl from Bohemian Grove say? Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Biden is the winner. Biden's your president-elect. Okay? And that's bullshit. And we know that. So I'm just going to cut it short there. I'm not going to do a long-winded one. We have to change how we do elections in this country. There's beyond vulnerabilities. It's designed by nature to manipulate the votes. And no foreign countries, servers, or any other corporations should be interfering with our elections, period. And that's why I support everything that the Trump team is doing with questioning this. This is not poor sport. This is not a crybaby. This is not a temper tantrum. No. This is our constitutional right. This is Trump's constitutional right, and it's we the people's constitutional right to question and examine how this electronic vote tabulation is going down and how they steal it from us. And we have an election coming up January 5th in Georgia, 2 seats. Are we going to continue on the same software, whether it's communist or whether it's the CIA? Sidney Powell saying it's communist, Venezuela and software. That's the CIA. That's the CIA. Those are intelligence community that are acting like communists, which the greatest example of communism is the intelligence community. It is what it is. Top-down, authoritarian militant control, insiders. So, peace out, folks. Be strong. Let's get it done. Let the truth be known. Peace out.